One woman walks onto the America's Got Talent stage, quiet, nervous, almost invisible at first. But within seconds, she does something no one in that theater expects. Her voice changes. Then it changes again. Two completely different voices come from the same woman, and the moment hits like a shockwave. Simon Cowell's jaw drops. The judges freeze. The audience erupts. Before this story unfolds, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because moments like this are rare, unforgettable, and once in a lifetime. The lights inside the America's Got Talent theater dimmed softly as the announcer called the next contestant's name. From the side of the stage, a petite Filipina woman stepped forward. She wore a simple dress, her hair neatly tied back, her hands clasped tightly in front of her as if holding onto courage itself. She smiled politely, but anyone watching closely could see the nerves in her eyes. This was not the confident walk of a superstar. This was the walk of someone who had waited her entire life for a single moment. Simon Cowell leaned back in his chair, pen resting against his lips, scanning her with his usual unreadable expression. He had seen thousands of singers, maybe tens of thousands. Some good, some great, many forgettable. From his experience, he knew that looks could deceive, but he also knew that nerves often meant either disaster or magic. Terry Crews asked her name, and she answered softly. Her accent carried the warmth of the Philippines, and when she explained where she came from, the audience responded with polite applause. She spoke about growing up in a small town where electricity would sometimes go out, where music came not from fancy studios but from radios, churches, and family gatherings. Singing, she said, was not a dream at first. It was survival. It was comfort. It was escape. When asked why she came to America's Got Talent, her voice trembled slightly. She said she wanted to prove that limits placed on you by fear, poverty, or doubt were not real limits at all. Simon raised an eyebrow. He leaned forward just a little. That line caught his attention. The music cue began softly, a gentle piano filling the theater. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and began to sing. Her first voice was delicate, light, almost fragile. It floated through the room like a whisper, pure and controlled. The audience leaned in. It was beautiful, but not shocking. Simon nodded slightly. Good tone, good control, he thought. Another good singer. Then, without warning, something changed. Her voice dropped suddenly into a rich, deep register, powerful and bold, as if another person had stepped onto the stage. The sound hit the judges like thunder. Heidi Klum's eyes widened. Sofia Vergara's mouth opened in disbelief. Simon Cowell sat up straight, his pen slipping from his fingers. The audience gasped. She wasn't switching octaves. She wasn't straining. She wasn't faking. It was as if two entirely different singers lived inside the same body, each with their own soul. She moved seamlessly between the two voices, high and angelic, then deep and commanding. Male and female tones. Soft and strong. The transitions were flawless. The song transformed into a conversation between two identities, two lives, two struggles. Simon's expression changed from curiosity to shock. Halfway through the performance, the music dropped out, leaving only her voice. She sang a single line in her higher register, then echoed it with her deeper voice, harmonizing with herself. The audience rose to their feet before the song even ended. Simon whispered something to himself, shaking his head slowly. As the final note rang out, silence filled the room for one heartbeat. Then the theater exploded. Cheers, screams, standing ovation. People were crying. Some were laughing in disbelief. The judges stood up, clapping, stunned. Simon Cowell remained seated for a moment longer, staring at the stage as if trying to understand what he had just witnessed. When the applause finally settled, Simon leaned toward the microphone. He paused. That pause alone told everyone this was serious. I have heard a lot of singers, he said slowly. But I have never heard anything like that. The crowd erupted again. Simon continued, saying that what shocked him most wasn't just the technical ability, but the control, the emotion, and the confidence hidden beneath her nervous exterior. He admitted that when she walked on stage, he did not expect this at all. And that, coming from Simon Cowell, was everything. Then came the first twist. Simon asked her where she learned to sing like that. She smiled gently and explained that she didn't have formal training. She learned by singing in church, copying voices she heard on the radio, and practicing alone late at night so she wouldn't disturb her neighbors. She said she was often told to choose one voice, to stick to one style, to stop confusing people. For years, she listened. She buried one voice to please others. She thought being different was wrong. The audience grew quiet. She explained that back home, people laughed when she switched voices. Some said it was strange. Others said it wasn't marketable. At one point, she almost quit singing entirely. Simon looked down, then back up. His face softened. Then she revealed the second twist. She said she came to AGT not just to be heard, but to finally accept all of herself. Both voices. Both sides. She said this stage gave her permission to stop hiding. Sofia Vergara wiped her eyes. Heidi placed a hand over her chest. Simon nodded slowly. Then, unexpectedly, Simon asked her to sing again. Right there. No music. No warning. The audience held its breath. She sang a simple melody, switching voices mid-note, filling the room with raw emotion. This time, there were tears in her eyes. This wasn't a performance anymore. This was release. When she finished, Simon stood up. That moment alone felt historic. I think America is going to fall in love with you, Simon said. Because this isn't a trick. This is who you are. The judges voted unanimously. 4 yeses. But it didn't stop there. As she walked off stage, crying, hugging Terry Crews, the camera caught Simon still watching her, shaking his head in disbelief. For someone who had built a career on criticism, moments like this reminded him why he fell in love with music in the first place. Backstage, she collapsed into tears. Not from relief, but from freedom. Her audition went viral within hours. Millions of views. Comments from around the world. People saying they finally felt seen. People saying they, too, had hidden parts of themselves. And the biggest twist of all. This was just the beginning. Because sometimes, it takes one woman, 2 voices, and one fearless moment to remind the world that you don't have to choose who you are. You can be everything you were meant to be.